Hi everyone, I'm Marina Parenti, and I'm talking about the evolution of dogs as we look at American society from 1492 to 1937, with an emphasis towards the earlier 20th century. But I want to give you some background on dogs, which I love, by the way. I have four myself. So I'm starting with Marion Schwartz's 97 book. She said she wasn't fond of dogs, but she does a great job of researching them. And before in 1492, she noted that Native American dogs were part of hunting and hauling and rituals as evidenced in Aztec art and burial mounds. Also is seen in the Middle East in this sand sculpture where a hunter has a number of dogs around them and two are specifically on a leash. Well, then my focus goes from 1901 to 1937 in our research on newspaper articles and American history. And I look at the elite status in European breeds and how that changes from the colonial era and then moves forward. And Schwartz's work, her part in that, shows this shift from native diversity to European dominance. So the first article tracks the dog's trade evolution, and it has a number of business ventures that start off. I won't go into each one, but they're quite fascinating. I highly recommend looking at this article. All of them, actually, they're really interesting. But the thing is that the trends go from working dogs to fashionable pets. So ladies loved the Yorkies, and the people also loved the Mastiffs and the Saint Bernards. For instance, Nip, the Skye Terrier, he went for $300 and the puppies went for $50. But the ladies, they often ignored, that for all the classes, from the lower classes to the elites, they could do sporting and betting on these dogs, and that their cute little Nip, the Terrier, was also really good at ripping to pieces and shreds the rats, killing hundreds within an hour. So, our next article then is on the New York Times, the Pet Dogs Society Women. And you go from Tommy, who went fishing with his mistress, or Wu Ting Fang, who was a chow who refused to walk on his own and would take a cab, or Pepita, who liked to guard her mistress while she had lunch on Fifth Avenue, or Snowman, who let another dog use his fur as a little nest. And so all of them had these kind of unusual charms and quirks that made them the love of this elite society and sort of fueled this cycle of liking these sort of unusual dogs and making them fashionable. And then finally, we have Albert Payson's article on calling all dogs. This is a Sun article. And so while you had pugs and Newfoundlands, Terhune, he wonders, is this right? He says, well, it's fashionable, but then they become discarded, with elite women favoring frail breeds like the pugs who had breathing issues as status symbols. And then Terhune, he ponders what would happen to the breeders when they had prepared for so many sales, but then, like a change in the season, women now preferred Yorkies over pugs. And what would become of all the unwanted pugs and the breeders who now had hungry puppies to feed? And so, not quite Cruella de Vil making the puppies into pelts. However, my research goes from Native American relations with their dogs to elite status and the pitfalls of pets as fashion. Thank you for listening.